All right, we are recording. Let me pull up my notes so I can stay on track. So Amy and I obviously went to the Align retreat, which was amazing. Totally worth it. Totally worth the time, the money, the expenditure from like the sacrifice to get there, the emotional sacrifice, because those kinds of retreats are nerve-wracking to the lead up. So we had some major epiphanies while we were there and learned so much stuff. And we want to take the next couple of weeks to just slowly put our spin on it. Talk to you guys a little bit about the things that we've learned, both from the Align retreat, but then also in the very conscious decisions that both of us have tried to make in changing the path of our mindset. Right? So over the next couple of weeks, I feel like we're going to have some really candid discussions. So I hope you guys are really, kind of open to that and ready for that, because I know everybody jumping on here is ready to run. You are saying enough is enough. It is time for me to go. I'm ready. I am ready for this refresh, restart. But all of that is going to take some hard work, and it's going to take intentional work. And we wanted to kick off that series with this mindset call. It's probably nothing that you haven't ever heard before, but mindset always comes before strategy. And we have to take ownership over and accountability over our own success. True, authentic accountability, not just saying, yes, I own this, I'm running, I'm going, but true, authentic accountability over our own success as we start to move forward. So I wanted to start this out by asking you guys to be open to receive. So take a deep breath in. Everybody at once. Deep breath out. I want you to put your hands out like this and say, I am ready to receive. Your body language impacts the way that your mind receives things. You don't have to say that way the whole time, but your body language and your intent truly impacts the way that you receive information. And if you set yourself up to say, okay, I'm ready, I'm open, I'm willing, I'm doing this, it's a very, very different thing than when you receive information and it's met with opposition in your brain. So just keep that in mind as we talk through these next couple weeks, and really, really just be intentional about saying, okay, maybe I'm going to try this. Maybe I'm going to think this way. Maybe I'm going to, be open to this. Because really, and I can speak from experience myself, sometimes you have to trudge through the mud to recognize that you are actually the person in your way. And I'm going to start with a really, really big and hard topic. I'm just gonna, you guys know I'm a blunt person, and I'm gonna hit them, just like bust open the doors, and I'm here. Blunt is here, the hard discussion's here. One of the biggest, most, I hear this so often, most self-sabotaging things, self-sabotaging lines of thinking that you can possibly be in. This thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about, it's a massive, massive excuse. It's a means of self-preservation, a way of thinking that truly justifies failure before it even happens, something that manifests roadblocks, manifests issues, sabotages any success to be had. And I just want to repeat, this justifies failure before it even happens. And I don't think a single person on this call or listening to this recording, it feels okay with that, truly in your soul, in your heart. And what I'm about to say might hurt if you have thought this. It might be one of those, those gut check moments. But I want to tackle it head on, because we got to wipe this slate clean. And I love y'all, and I want you guys to have success. And what I'm talking about is putting jewels in a box, saying phrases like, I'm not like them. I can't be like them. I won't fit in when I get there. I can't get there. I don't want to be like them. One, I want you guys to stop that. It's not true. you don't know any of those jewels. And finally, and Amy can agree with this and anybody else, it's downright offensive, okay? You guys are jewel material, y'all. Every single one of you guys on this call, and I want you guys to own that. You guys are worthy of success. You are capable of success. And I guarantee you there's about 1,000 jewels, give or take. There's at least one similar to you guys, because what you focus on expands. And so you're focusing on the ones that aren't like you to justify the fact that you can't get there. You guys, it's time to focus on what you bring to the table. I want you guys on this call to be walking in your giftings and walking in your unique talent, and realize that there's 1,000 unique individuals with unique circumstances that have come before you, paved the way, shown you that you can do it, and they have walked that walk before you. And not only that, this is a growth opportunity. So you're going to grow into that position, but you have to be open to receive. You have to be ready for it. You have to be just gunning for it, right? And you have to stop the self-sabotaging. So no one came in prepared to do this. No jewel, no diamond, no sapphire, no emerald that stands on that stage came in fully prepared and fully at the place that they're in now, that they're there, than when they started. And you guys, I am still not prepared for the position that I'm in, right? I am still, you guys see me learning out loud. You see I'm a work in progress. I am trying so hard to, number one, walk into awareness. Number two, walk in my unique giftings and figure out what I bring to the table. And then I lean on others for the rest. Amy and I are not the same person. If you guys truly got to know us at deep down, and many of you guys do, so I'm not discounting that, but if you got to know us deep down, authentic at our core, we're very opposite. We just have a lot of similarities in the way we work and we approach business. But we are driven by different things. We have different personalities. We have different goals. We have different, and that's just two people that I'm giving you an example of. There are 1,000, right? Just in our company, but other companies too. You know, take network marketing as a whole. You guys are jewels. And so I wanted to start out the call by saying that, because I think that's the first roadblock that we put up in front of ourselves and say, I can't do this. This isn't for me because I'm not like them. And it truly does. It harms you and it keeps you from it. And you guys, trust me, there's every walk of life in that jewel position. Every single walk of life. Amy, did you want to say something?
Well, yeah, just because this was a big gut check for me, and I just want people to know that I have thought it too. And if you guys watched Preston's live, or if you've been looking at any of Preston's mindset stuff, he will tell you that when I would say boy, in my head, I don't want to be like that jewel or like that diamond, then subconsciously, unknowing to me, not on purpose, we self-sabotage. So when Sarah says, stop self-sabotaging, we don't know we're doing it, but because we're thinking oh my goodness, if I'm successful, if I'm a jewel, I don't want these particular things or these traits that we assume, then we self-sabotage. But guys, it was a gut check for me. There were jewels and diamonds in that room that I'd never even heard of, because they're not the ones that you see, because they don't want to be on calls and do the videos and the stuff like Sarah and I do. There's a jewel, I don't want to say her name, but you guys all know her because she hit jewel in 6 months. And her parents quit speaking to her. There are other jewels that have cheating spouses and all kinds of life things that it was a huge gut check to be oh my goodness, they're not special. Jewels are not special. That diamond that I've been looking up to, God love her, she's not special. She has all the same crap that all of us do. So I just wanted to reiterate that, oh my goodness, it has been a huge gut check when I've really been open to getting to know the stories of these people that even I've looked up to.
Absolutely. And we make up these stories in our head that aren't even true. It's just these false prophecies. And I keep saying what you focus on expands, but y'all, it's so stinking true that, if you focus on, I don't want to be superficial like her, or I don't have blonde hair and the perfect body and blah, 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 blah. You guys, I'm from the superficial things that you can see just looking from a mile away or on pictures or what have you, all the way down to who they are at the core. every single one of those people is different, and you guys fit in. So it's a storyline that you've got to get over, and you've got to work through and step into your unique giftings. You know, I've said that a bunch of times, but you each have unique talents. You each have things that you can bring to the table, and you each you're not meant for everybody. You each have these people that will follow you because they see something in you that is like them. Like attracts like, attraction marketing, right? And so you're going to attract your tribe. You're not going to attract Celeste's tribe or Helen's tribe or Andrea Mitchell's tribe or Rebecca Folk's tribe or whoever else, right? You're going to attract Tamsin's tribe, Betty's tribe, Nora's. Like, you guys have your people. And as long as you are moving forward and taking steps in growth, that's attractive to people. And as long as you are owning it and excited about it, right? So you're not meant for everybody. You're meant for the people that are called for you, but they can't find you if you're not walking in your authentic self. And that's the biggest thing. So just truly relax and make these next steps that you guys take, steps of determination that are going to bring you to what you have to the table, right? And so I want to discuss just real quickly, and Amy, this wasn't in our notes, the road back to you. I think that the book study that we are doing over the Enneagrams, whether or not you're showing up to the calls, whether or not you have read the book, if you are struggling with, okay, who am I at my core? What are they even talking about in this call right now? This mindset. How can I start to chip at the surface of this, because I'm having these negative thoughts or I'm not understanding any of this? Y'all, please go read that book. Download the Audible. I listened to the Audible. I bought the study guide. I bought the hardcover book. And what I've been doing is listening to the Audible because I have a lot going on in my life right now. So I'm listening to the Audible while I clean my house, fold my laundry, get the other stuff done, get ready, am in the car, all those things. You guys, it truly is going to help you self-reflect. It's going to help you start walking in your authentic self. It's going to help you start loving yourself, but then start dealing with the things that aren't maybe so great. Okay, so even if you haven't read the book, step into these calls, lean into these calls that are happening on Tuesdays. Okay, so I just want to throw that plug in for the book study because it really does intertwine with everything that we're talking about here, and it's a massive stepping stone to you just owning your gifts and walking in them and making your own personal mark and being okay with yourself and saying, you know what, there's other people like me, and this is a cool aspect that I have to my personality that I can bring to the table. These are my talents. These are my gifts, right? So the other thing is, you've got to understand your why, okay? So I've been very vocal about this. I've had a super unhealthy version of success, and Amy's going to talk to you guys about the rabbit hole of success, but I've had a super unhealthy version of success. I'm an Enneagram 3. You guys were studying that chapter in this book right now, but I'm a very driven person, right? So my why was always success driven, money driven. I always had that kind of aspect to my why, and it has drastically evolved over the last 12 months. And so I want you guys to really, when she starts talking about that, really take it to heart and start to think, okay, how does this apply to me? What is my true why? What do I truly want out of life? And how do I fit this plexus thing in to make this happen? And how can I align my why with my activity and what I want out of life, right? So, and all of that. So what I've determined from myself is that I want peace. I want peace in my home, peace in my bank account, peace in my business, peace throughout all the things. But I also desire to succeed and have success and have that aspect to my life. And so that's part of my peace. It doesn't mean peace and I'm just complacent. It means finding a new path to get to my success, okay? So there's just different levels of that why. And like I said, Amy's going to cover that further. But I want you guys to really call yourself as you're listening to her and to stop self-sabotaging your success due to subconsciously assigning different meaning and paths to success like we have done. And Amy and I are just two very different case studies in that. I guarantee you the other people on this call are also doing it too. You kind of hold yourself back from success because you've assigned a different meaning. Like to me, it was sacrificing my family. I realized, okay, I have assigned this meaning that I didn't even realize that I had assigned to success, that makes success makes me a bad mom. Success makes me a bad wife. Success makes me superficial. Success, all these things, and all of them were bad. And so at every time that I started to move forward a little bit, I would pull myself back, and it creates this crazy cycle. So she's going to talk to you guys about that. Preston Pugmire also talks about that a whole lot. But I want you guys to ask yourself, as you're going through this and as you're getting started in this, we're restarting our business, refreshing, walking in the exciting aspects of our business to bring joy to this, to bring excitement to our business, and to link arms with each other and really start to move forward. One, and maybe you guys write these down, I'll put them in the chat though too. One, whose permission am I waiting on to get what I want? What decisions do I need to make? What actions do I need to take? What will I give my energy to? And I'll put those in the chat, but I want you guys to think about those questions when we get off this call. First thing first, think about those questions and really sit back and think, whose permission am I waiting on to get what I want? All of those things, like they're such thought-provoking questions. And then I also want to give you 2 calls to actions, 2 exercises. If you have not done them yet, I want you to sit back and write out, set your timer on your phone for 5 minutes and write out your story. Maybe it's a list, maybe it's a story in paragraph form. What if I hadn't shown up? What if I hadn't said yes to Plexus? So what would have happened if you didn't click join 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? What would your life look like? What would your friends' lives look like? What would your family's life look like? What would all of it? What if you hadn't shown up? Where would your health be? With things, it's like the butterfly effect. Little things, little decisions have a ripple effect. Who all would that have impacted by you not showing up? And then number 2, we've talked about this before, the joy list. I want you guys to write down 30 things that bring you joy in life. It can be as superficial as you like to look pretty, you like to curl your hair, you like to put on earrings, you like to light candles, or it can be as big as I like to sit down and sit in the Word of God and do a devotional. I like to spend time with my kids, my spouse, my family. Whatever that looks like for you guys, write down 30 things, and I want you to make that a very intentional part of your day, because joy brings everything. Like, you create joy in your life. You create that aspect, all right? So now those 2 things are super, super huge. Those homework assignments are super, super huge for getting you in the right mindset to make a shift into owning your business and running through it. So I'm going to kick it over to Amy to talk a little bit more about some of this as well. And we're really trying hard to keep us at 30 minutes, and I already talked way too long.
That's okay. All right, I won't hold it against you. Hey guys, so let me reiterate too that the reason we're so passionate about this and we keep talking a lot and we're so excited is because we have had these feelings that you're having, and we are speaking from experience. We are not just speaking from a notebook. I mean, Sarah practically had a headache the whole week because she was crying. I had puffy eyes all week. Like, if you do the things, like if you sit down and you write the joy list, if you sit down and you write your what if I hadn't shown up story, these are the things that are going to make the difference. I have heard these things 100 times in my Plexus journey. I've got the notebooks from all the other things I've done Bob's stuff, I've done other people's stuff, but I never actually did the work, right? I listened to it and I read it and I read the book and I joined the Zoom and I thought, oh my goodness, that's great. Yeah, it sounds good. Mindset, got it. I'm going to work on it. And then I do nothing. At our retreat, they called it, you get all hopped up on hopium, and then you put it on your shelf and you get back into your old habits, okay? So I really want you guys to do these things, because when you look at success, when you look at the people in this business that are successful, the only thing they have in common is that they have good habits. And they do these habits over time that gets them the positive mindset, that gets them the outcome they want. They don't focus on the outcome. They don't focus on their rank or their points. They focus on these daily habits. And these daily habits give you greater self-confidence. They give you more clarity, and they give you that mindset that's going to get you to that outcome. And one thing I have had to learn over the past year, because I also am one who had different meanings tied to success. And I think I'm an Enneagram wing too, because then when I'm in a stress situation, I completely shut down, which is the antithesis of wanting to be successful, right? But I've had to say over and over and over, progress, not perfection, in everything for my mindset, whether it's my business or whether it's just making my bed every day or eating healthy or having some movement and getting exercise. Progress, not perfection. I want you guys to say that out loud, write it in your notebook, that from here on out, you are going to focus on progress, not perfection, when it comes to your plexus business and your mindset and doing these habits every day. Because here's the cool thing, guys, even if your confidence wavers, I mean, mine certainly has, and I'm about to take you through my rabbit hole of meaning here in a minute to show you how my confidence wavered big time, but your worth never changes. Okay, our worth is eternal and it never changes. So you need to let your purpose run the show, not your emotions, because there are going to be times when self-confidence sucks, right? When somebody tells us no or something happens, right? But you need to stick to that progress, not perfection, so you don't get caught in that rabbit hole. Because ultimately, the story we tell ourselves on the inside is the story that becomes on the outside. So for 2 years, I have been telling myself, not really consciously, but kind of aware of the story, not aware of the consequences. I was telling myself in the thought loop that I'm not a diamond. I'm not good enough to be a diamond. I was supposed to be, but something happened, so clearly I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be a Jessica Heffley or a Tamara Holloway. And those thought loops were a choice. And the thought loops, once you hear those thoughts over and over and over, that's what a belief is, guys. A belief is nothing more than a thought that you play over and over and over in your head. So success is a choice. We're going to become the person we want to be first. We're going to mentally create it first. Then we're going to become it. So you're going to become the person you want to be in your mind, and then you're going to do those daily habits, and then you're going to become what that goal is, what that success is, okay? The first thing I want you guys to realize, though, and this is pretty big for me, my value is not attached to plexus. I love plexus. It is, I bleed pink. I'm not going anywhere. I love plexus, but it's not my value. It's the vehicle to which I can share my value with the world. It's the vehicle through which I can do great things. But if I attach my value to plexus, then when I don't hit a rank, or ambassadors quit, or customers don't message me back, then that affects my mindset, my self-worth, and my confidence. So you have to separate that value so it's not attached to plexus, okay? And I'm going to show you here my rabbit hole. So Preston Pugmire, you guys have probably heard us talk about him. Hopefully you watched his free live that he did. If not, go find that recording, because he's an incredible mindset coach. He just has a gift for getting you to look within yourself, and after all the years of hearing about mindset, actually doing something about mindset. So he has something called the rabbit hole of meaning, and it's where you address your fear story and you work through it, but you don't actually stay there. So I wish I had a whiteboard behind me where I could show you how I went through my fear story, but I have some messy notes, and I just authentically want to show it to you guys here. Let me just share the screen. I want to make sure it's going to come up. Let's see. It's a note. So let's see if it'll let me here. I don't know if this is it or not, guys. Let's see. No, that's a whiteboard. That's not it. So I don't know if it's going to let me show you. I'll try one more time. Oh, yep, there it is. So this is the rabbit hole of meaning. If you can see this, I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. But basically, what is your fear story? And mine, oh, there, I lost it. Mine is that I didn't hit diamond. Many of you know my story. I thought I was supposed to hit diamond and I didn't. And then I just kept thinking, okay, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And it didn't. And slowly, over time, I let that affect everything about my being, okay? So what did that fear tell me? Well, it told me I wasn't successful. And then that told me I'm not a good leader. And then that told me no one ever wants to join me. So then what happened? I quit asking people to join me because I didn't think I was good enough to lead them. And then I felt like a failure and a disappointment to everyone. And if you go back to the book study Sarah was talking about, then I go into this nice little rabbit hole of despair, and I shut myself down and I do just the bare minimum, just the busy tasks to appear busy and successful, but not actually being busy and successful. When really, if you come out of that rabbit hole and realize it's not true, my diamond rank has nothing to do with me being successful and being a good leader. I have to separate those two outcomes. I need to separate that meaning attached to that outcome. I am successful. I am a sapphire. I am successful. I have brought hundreds of people in who have incredible testimonies. I am a good leader. People do want to join me, and I am not a failure. But that, guys, that rabbit hole, I was stuck in for probably 2 years. So I want you guys to take, what is your fear story? What is it? Is it that you didn't hit a goal? Is that you aren't where you thought you'd be? Whatever that is, and I want to go through your fear. What might happen if, and what might that mean about me? Because you need to get it out there. You need to address the fear story, but you don't want to stay in your fear story. Let me get my notes back, guys. Because that is not a good place to be. And the more we tell ourselves that, or more we think that, then our subconscious actions create that, okay? So if I didn't think I was good enough to be diamond, then guess what? My mind wasn't actually letting me work to be a diamond. I wasn't doing the things. But if I had switched that narrative, which I have now, then I know I'm going to do the daily actions. I'm going to strive for perfection or progress over perfection. And guess what? It's going to happen. But I'm not going to attach my value to it anymore, because when I do that and it doesn't happen, then I lose that mindset and I go into that rabbit hole of despair. So there are kind of 7 steps that I want to take you through to this mindset makeover. And then I'm going to put up a slide that has 4 quadrants. Don't worry about writing it all down, because we're going to share it on the team page after. We'll put it in a thread. But this is another exercise that was really eye-opening to me. Sarah was sitting next to me. I don't want to speak for her. I don't want to say I cheated and looked at her paper, but I think it was pretty eye-opening for her too. But to have that mindset makeover, you really want to, one, figure out your story. What is that success? So do what Sarah asked you to do. Write those stories, write that fear story, and then choose to see the positive. Now, I had a session at the retreat where I said, man, I'm not successful. And she said, you've got to stop saying that. Your story is that you are successful. You have been successful. Just because you haven't hit another goal doesn't mean you're not successful. So have that positive lens, and then have a clear vision to what it is and connect your feelings to that vision. So we talk a lot about, visualizing. To me, I had to disconnect the feeling of success to a rank and reconnect that feeling of success to those daily habits, those rituals that I am creating, and the joy list, and the looking at what if I hadn't shown up. So you want to have that clear vision. You also just have to decide what you want. So when, Sarah said earlier, you have to figure out your why. And I think a lot of us knew our why in the beginning. We talked about it a lot, but our whys change, or they lose their fire. They lose the passion. And certainly when you're in that rabbit hole of despair, I didn't even think about my why at all. So you need to decide it and declare it and claim it and make it a choice that you are going to find that fire again for your why, all right? And you're going to look at it every day. You're going to put it up and you're going to know your why. And then you have to be prepared. Like Sarah said, you got to be open, because guess what, guys? You don't get what you want, all right? Life doesn't give us what we want. So I wanted diamond. Life isn't just going to hand me diamond, right? Life gives us what we prepare for. I wasn't working or preparing as if I was already a diamond. So life was not going to give it to me because I was not ready. So you have to think, what are those little habits I can do every day that will get me to that outcome. So then I will be ready to receive it. And one thing for me, guys, making my bed. As a former messy bedder, making my bed has just set me on this snowball effect of being productive. Because one, I can't go back to bed if it's made. Two, I'm not going to put a whole bunch of dirty laundry on it and let it sit forever because it's made and it's pretty. And guess what? I accomplished something, so I'm going to come to my office and I'm going to do something on my to-do list for my business because I already feel accomplished. So those little daily rituals, don't discount them as being silly when it comes to your bigger ultimate goals. And then I want you to act as if you're already at your desired outcome, right? So leadership is actually a choice, or it's not something that just happens. So I don't care if you have no one on your team right now. Act as if you do. Be that leader you see. I would always say, like, when I get to diamond, I'll do this. No, like, I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to do those daily habits. And then I also want you to be generous and always think in a giving mindset, because until you're in a giving mindset, you're not going to be able to receive. And then everything has to be in alignment. So we're going to talk a lot about self-care right now. Everything has to be in alignment if you're ready to receive what your big goals are, right? So we're going to talk about alignment with body and mind and spirit, and all of this goes into your mindset. So I want to show you this mindset exercise, because your mind must arrive at your destination before your life can, right? You guys have heard it. What you visualize is what you react. It's attraction marketing. What we put out, we receive. But if we're not putting anything out, that's why we're not receiving anything. But we don't realize it, and we're frustrated, and we're burnt out, and we're ready for this restart. And guys, the reason, listen, Sarah and I have tons of awesome tools we've learned for our actual Plexus business for onboarding and recruiting and silvers. But we didn't want to share that yet, because this is the foundation. This mindset stuff doesn't matter what great tools we have. Doesn't matter if we have the perfect script if our mindset isn't where it needs to be. So I want you to look at this. I'm going to see if I can share it again here. Let me see. It's, give me just a second, guys. There it is. So it looks very simple. It is 4 quadrants. That's Tiffany. She's the one that actually spoke this. I didn't know her face was going to pop up really big. But I want you to take this quadrant, just draw it on your paper, and put body, mind, heart, and spirit in each of the 4 squares. And again, we'll post this. But this was such a big eye-opener for me. So what I want you to do is I want you to think currently on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to take this down now. So body, mind, heart, and spirit, all right? On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to honestly write down how you feel about each. So your body would be your physical self. And there's probably 3 subcategories under that. Would be like your nutrition, your sleep, and your movement. So how comfortable are you in your physical body? Because listen, guys, self-care equals success. The number 1 energy motivator of success is joy, and the number 1 secret in sales is your self-care and your self-confidence. I will tell you, my physical body number on a scale of 1 to 10 was a 3. And I wouldn't have guessed that until I went through the exercise and wrote it down, okay? Then I want you to write down, and we're not going to do it on the call because we're already 4 minutes over. You're going to write down 3 things you can do, measurable, active things. Remember, progress, not perfection, that you can do to embrace that number from a 3 to a 5, or from a 5 to a 7, from a 7 to a 9, right? Mine, the 3 things, just to give you an idea, I was going to go to bed at 10 o'clock each night. I'm going to get up at 5:15, 3 days a week, and I'm going to do yoga just twice a week. So what are those things, okay? For your mind, how do you take care of your mind? Where do you feel comfortable in your mind right now? I was a 5, and so I'm going to start a gratitude journal. I'm going to start a technology curfew. And then I'm going to start listening to podcasts, but not while I'm multitasking. I'm going to start doing them while I'm able to listen to them and maybe take some notes. The 3rd quadrant, guys, is your heart, okay? So you've heard Sarah talk a lot about the joy list. I hope you're really taking that seriously and not only writing it, but putting it on your calendar to do something from your joy list every day, because happier people are more successful. So how happy are you? on your heart and what brings you joy. I put myself like a 5-6 in this category, which was like, whoa, I would have guessed I was like a super happy person, but I was about a 5-6. And then so I just put a couple things in there from my joy list that I'm going to do as those daily habits to make sure I'm taking care of myself. And then the spirit. So how do you nourish your spirit? How do you feel centered and grounded? I was a 4, feeling pretty low on the spirit personally. And again, I put the gratitude journal. I put going outside, connecting with Steve. I also, though, I personally want to get back to going to church. And I've got some daily devotions and some prayer things I put on there. But that's the exercise I want you guys to do. Really look currently where your mindset is. And then if you're ready to make it over, write a couple of those things that you're going to do every day. And remember, progress, not perfection. We're going for daily habits. And you might think, oh my goodness, Amy, look, I came here to restart my business. I just want to be a senior gold for crying out loud. Like, just tell me how many points I need and like how to do it. This is how you do it. Take it from me. Take it from Sarah. Take this stuff seriously. Do the exercises. Change that mindset every single day. And if we start doing these little daily habits, we all going to be diamonds. It's going to happen. So Sarah, do you want to recap?
Yeah, so I was just going to add to that, you guys. We adore you guys so much. And we put a lot of thought into where we needed to start with this because we want to link arms and we want to run with you, but we can't do this for you. Like, I legit would carry you up my back to Diamond if I could, because once you got there, you guys are going to see, oh my gosh, this is real. This is life-changing. This is incredible, right? But at the end of the day, we can't. So we need you guys to commit to yourselves to do the actions. This takes action. It takes intention. Mindset shifts aren't just going to come to you overnight because you're hoping for them. It's going to take you guys waking up daily and walking in a different way and doing things in a different way and seeking out resources. So the Preston Pugmire mindset stuff is great, but he's not the only one, right? Like, find somebody that speaks to you, be intentional about it. That's super, super, super huge. Yes, I will, Christine. I'm going to list out the assignments. So that's the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to get from this, is that mindset before strategy every single day of the week. Mindset before action. Mindset before any of it. Because if you approach your business from a negative standpoint, you're going to bring in negativity and failure and defeat. If you approach it from a positive mindset of abundance instead of scarcity, you're going to bring in everything. So, and I'm going to leave you with this before I list out the things that you guys need to do, and then we'll wrap it up. But if you are thinking, oh, when I hit ruby, or when I hit emerald, or when I hit diamond, everything's going to align in my life. I'm going to be at peace. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be able to pay off my debt. I'm going to be able to do all these things. Like, my marriage is going to get better. We're going to have less stress. No, start attacking those things that you have assigned to that next strength, and those emotions that you have assigned to that next strength now, so that you're going to be ready to receive that next strength in a healthy way. And you're going to be ready to receive success in a healthy way. So diamond's not going to fix your marriage, honey. Diamond is not going to fix your bank account. More money, more problems, right? So figure it out now. Don't look at some future possible success rank to be the benchmark to start fixing it, because you're going to be freaking really upset when you hit that rank and nothing changes, right? Change before it happens. That's what I'm going to say about that. We want to lock arms with you. We are going to give you guys all the tools to apply to your business. But if, like I said, Miranda, I see you. If you are sitting there still telling me 2 weeks from now that people are just going to tell you no if you reach out to them because it's too expensive, I'm going to shake you and make you come watch this video again, okay? So start doing the mindset work now. Stop with the limiting beliefs. Stop with self-fulfilling prophecies. I'm going to keep calling you out. But what we're doing is we're doing the joy list. We're doing the what if I had said no, what if I hadn't started exercise. Both of those, just 30 things you're joyful that bring joy to you. The what if I had not list with Plexus, I think that's what we called it. basically what if you didn't start plexus, what would happen, and then the mind, body, spirit, heart quadrant. Write yourself and put 3 things in each quadrant that you can start doing on a daily basis to make progress in those areas, okay? We're going to be gone next week in Hawaii, but we have some amazing team members that are going to be running this call for us next week, that we have hand selected to do it. So you guys, it's still going to be going on, still going to be happening. We have the Road Back to You call tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central. Same Zoom, everything like that. So read chapters 2, 3, and 4. And I think that's it. I think we're done.
Yep.
Hey, only 10 minutes over. Yes. All right. I'm going to stop the recording and you guys can ask questions.